It certainly is, Jonathan. I mean, looking behind us in this wonderful Welsh Valley setting behind us, you'd be surprised to learn that we're just a few hundred metres from the quarry, the Craiga Hest quarry, that's actually stood there since the 1880s, producing a material very valuable across the UK, but at the same time its existence is highly controversial in its role at present and its role in the future. Here are the arguments for and against.
This is Craiga Hest quarry. For more than a century, it's dug stone from the mountains over Glencoch. And this land, to the left of the green fence, will, in years to come, see up to 10 million tonnes extracted. An expansion needed, its owners say, to keep it open. This video, say campaigners, shows the effect of a blast from the quarry last Monday. The children here are taking part in a holiday group at the rugby club near the quarry site. Residents say they're fearful of the disruption the extension could bring.
That blast we had last week, absolutely ridiculous. It was frightening. All our dishes moved. We were in the club at the time when it happened. We were having a game of Simple Simon Says. We have to prepare for the children because there's no point pussyfooting around, as the children, all the children know what's going on anyway. We have to prepare them. This mountain is part of our childhood. They put a fence around it to keep us out from a mountain that we used to use as children. We've literally got a small amount of mountain left.
A lot of people come up, we go to the bonsai trees, we'll have our time, March 1st, it got ripped down. It got ripped down and that's what hit the nail on the head. We were like, what's going on? We've got people's parents, the ashes are spread up here. It's spiritual for a lot of people. Look at the nature, look at the wildlife.
The quarry provides valuable blue pennant sandstone for the construction industry. Plans to extend its life were rejected by Rhondda Cynon Taf Council in 2020. Its owners appealed to the Welsh Government, who, in 2022, said it could go ahead. The Welsh Government says it can't comment on the decision, citing planning law.
The quarry's owners, Heidelberg Materials, say that last week's blast was well within its permitted limits and insist that its operations pose no risk to people or property. It adds that it will be planting many new trees to offset some of the loss of habitat here, but campaigners aren't convinced.
What's changed is that they've now decided to expand the quarry to within 158 metres of my property. Initially, the plan to expand the quarry was supposed to go ahead until 2030. That also changed at the Senate, but it was overruled and went to 2047. So an additional 17 years of quarrying has been put into place now.
The general buffer zone is 20 metres. That's our organisation.
The quarry's owners say they work in a highly regulated environment. Campaigners say they're used to living near the site, but many are apprehensive about that continuing for decades to come.
So what ministers ultimately had to consider from the Welsh Government was whether the resources, and they are very plentiful resources, of the sandstone mines here really are of such national importance that they should have extra weight in planning law, albeit working with environmental and regulatory frameworks. So that's underpinning that kind of decision that was made. Heidelberg Materials also told us that the land that they're looking to quarry was never a public amenity land. There was never a public right of access, although they do acknowledge that the land historically had been heavily used and expected as such by many in the community. But when it comes down to it, of the many people we've talked to here, they simply feel they haven't been listened to, and making their voice heard in the weeks and months and even years to come is something they're determined to do.
Mike Griffiths in Glencoch, thanks very much indeed.